Hello Year 6 and welcome along to our next lesson in our Codes and Messages unit, and we're going to have a look at Morse code today. So Morse code was invented by a man called Samuel Morse in 1832, and in his code letters and numbers were represented by dots and dashes. A dot was just a short signal and a dash was a long signal that was 3 times longer than a dot. Let's have a little bit more of a look at what Morse code is. So you can send Morse code in lots of different ways. You could send it with light. So if you had a torch in the dark and you could flash little short flashes for dots, long flashes for dashes, and that would be great if you can see the other person in your line of sight. So if they can see your torch, it works fine. That's pretty good. You could use radio waves. So you could transmit your radio signal, little short bursts of signal and long bursts of signal for your dots and dashes. And you know that radio, like the radio in your car, can be heard from almost anywhere. So radio is really good at transmitting over long distances. So that's fantastic. But anyone can hear it. So if you're trying to send a secret message via Morse code and using radio, anybody with a radio receiver would be able to hear that message. So maybe not so secure. So if we want ultimate security, we'd use an electrical signal down a wire. So down a wire, you know that the only person that can hear or see the signal you're sending is the person at the other end of the wire. So you've got one end, they've got the other, you press your button and they receive the signal. So if you've got a wire to the person you want to send a message to, it's perfect. You've just got to have that wire in place first. Really interesting how it's kind of similar to how our world works today with the internet. We know that wired connections are actually more secure than wireless connections. So that's really interesting that that's carried through to today. So what you're going to do today is you're going to send some Morse code messages. You're going to read some Morse code messages. Hopefully we're going to have a look at what some binary code is, or look at a binary code. And we're going to understand the differences on how methods of transmission can offer different levels of security. So like I was saying with the wireless, the radio waves, is less secure than the cable. Okay, so here you can see a Morse alphabet. So you've got the letter here, and then the code that is equivalent in Morse code. So dot dash is A, dash dot 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 is B, and so on. You'll notice that E is just a dot. Any ideas why E is just a dot? Why is E a really short signal? Have a think. There's also T as a really short signal as well. So what might it be about the letters E and T that mean you'd want to be able to do them quickly? Yeah, that's exactly right. They are the most commonly used letters in the alphabet. So things that are less commonly used have tend to got a longer signal. So Q is quite a long one. Z, Y, X, quite long signals because you don't need to use them very much. Whereas letters you use a lot, they've got the shorter signals. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go onto this website and we're going to do some practice on some Morse code. So here we are. And let's get that up. And let's start. So I'm going to click on play the demo on my desktop. And you'll see that it loads. It says your Morse keyboard has 2 buttons, dots and dash. A combination of these will create letters. The pictures will help you to memorize them. So A for archery is dot and then dash, and you can see the little picture there. So if I press dot and then dash, it will do A. Banjo, it draws me a little banjo, and it says the dot dash dash. Candy. Okay, so it's going to give me those pictures to help me. Great. As we keep going, it will help us learn the whole alphabet. Brilliant. Okay, so we start off with E. So E, we know, is the one dot and it's the I. So it's the pupil in the eye. So E is dot. And A was archery, wasn't it? So it's dot dash. And then T is tape, and you've got that little tape there running across the middle. It's a dash. Okay, that's going to keep testing me on these. And eventually what will happen is it will think, okay, he's doing okay. Maybe I can try and do it without the symbols. So can I remember what T was? So T was tape, so it's just dash. E was I, and it's the dot. Okay, and then you keep going. Now, if you get stuck and you go, oh, I can't remember what A is, I've forgotten what it is, don't worry, you can wait. And I'll tell you what it is. So don't panic if you forget. Now, as you carry on, it will hopefully add in some more letters. Oh, I've done that wrong. If you get it wrong, don't worry, it'll tell you you've got to pause between each one. Okay. I'm hoping I'm going to get another letter soon. Got eat again. Right, here we've got an I. So I've got T, and now I don't know I, so it's going to teach me it. And it's insect, and it's the two little eyes of the insect. Dot, dot. Nice. And then back onto E. And then it'll put I into some letters, into some words for me. Okay, so you get the idea, and you can see at the top here I'm building up my alphabet. Right, guys, that's what I would like you to have a go at for now. I'm going to close that off for a second. And then when you're ready, once you've done the whole alphabet, you can come back and I'll do the end of the lesson with you. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that. If not, pause the video now, go and have a go at it. So we're going to have a look at what a binary code is just as soon as you've had a go at decoding this. So pause the video and see if you can figure out, using the skills you've just gained, what words are here. There's 4 words that join together to make a little phrase. There's a space, so look out for the spaces. They tell you where the new letter is. So there are spaces in these words. Best of luck. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next part, so hopefully you've had a go at decoding that. If you have, you can always put it in the comments. So, a binary code is a code with 2 signals. So binary code in computing uses 0 and 1s, and you might have seen this on telly and in films, little 0s and 1s on the screen. How is it like Morse code? How do you think binary code is like Morse code? Because actually Morse code is a kind of binary. How are they similar? Hopefully, you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is in binary code, there is 1 or 0s, there's 2 options. And in Morse code, there's dots or dash, there's 2 options. And that's what binary means, 2 options, bi means 2. So that's how Morse and binary are linked. Well done if you've done that, guys. There's loads of stuff out on the web about Morse code, but keep practicing and eventually you'll have learnt a really cool little skill. Bye for now.